Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Where I Went Wrong. And in this edition of Where I Went Wrong, I'll be doing Where I Went Wrong, UFC fight night. You could say Krylov versus Span, which fell out the day of the fight. Matter of fact, was it mid-card, the fight fell out, the main event fell out, which is crazy. Or you could say, what ended up being the main event. Or you could say a card that had no main event, because that didn't even feel like a real main event, or shouldn't have been a main event. But anyway, I'm gonna say UFC fight night, Muniz versus Allen. So where I went wrong, UFC fight night, Muniz versus Allen. So pretty solid card. I think I was 7 of 10. Yeah, 7 of 10 for that card. Ended that month. Well, this month's still not over, but as far as prediction wise, ain't gonna be no more fights. This is the last day of February, so ain't no more fights in February. So ended the month above 70%. Ended January above 70%. So through 2 months above 70% overall. So that's real great. Let's continue this into March, April, May. Let's keep riding it. Yeah, pause or whatever. But anyway. So yeah, where I went wrong, 7 of 10, 7 wins, 3 losses. One fight fell off the card. Well, 3 fights fell off this card. But I ain't gonna speak too much on those. But yeah, let's speak on. I ain't gonna speak on those at all. But let's get to the 3 fights that I went wrong in, and stick to the theme of the fight. I mean, to the theme of these videos, these where I went wrong or before I go wrong videos, and focus on the weak areas so I could come back stronger, and keep this 70% average up, or above 70% average up. But yeah. So first fight was, I believe, Gabriela Fernandez versus Jasmine Jasudavicius in this one. I went low confidence, so ain't gonna be a whole lot to talk about there. I didn't know. It's not like there's not a whole lot of tape out there on Gabriela Fernandez. A lot of speculation. Oh, she's this, she's that, or Jasmine Jasudavicius. Well, we know what Jasmine Jasudavicius has brought because we've seen her on the Contender Series, and we've seen her in like 2 or 3 UFC fights. So we have seen her. We know what she can bring. We know some of her weakness. We know some of her strong areas. And no, she's a pretty solid fighter. Not like she was a walkover can or tomato can or anything like that. She's a solid fighter. For sure, she's a very solid fighter. So she ain't a bad fighter also. She's a good fighter. But it was like more so this mystery to Gabriela Fernandez. She has some pretty solid striking. Her grappling was a question mark. And yeah, I went low confidence in. So I ain't like a pick like, oh my God, this chick is so great. I literally didn't know who she was. I said in my prediction, I don't know who she is. She does like a more cleaner, polished striker. But I don't know. But I'm gonna lean to her and expect her to, make that jump, when these fighters, a big assumption. Like when they kind of jump to UFC, they're going to improve on this, improve on that. And I guess her takedown defense should be solid enough. She could have solid enough takedown defense, or at least address the grappling enough. She should be able to be the cleaner, more polished striker. But clearly, I think I saw I didn't even really get a full video of her fighting, to be honest. I got like a highlight reel or shortened fight, something like that of her. And it's like she did have issues with the grappling with a mediocre fighter. But again, I expecting her to evolve since then, but it clearly shows that her takedown defense and grappling was mediocre, and like she needs to work on that area, or she's gonna get exploited pretty badly in the UFC unless they give her some striking matchups. But yeah, her grappling definitely needs a lot of work. And hey, I ain't too mad. When I say low confidence, I ain't too mad about it. I just literally saying, hey, you do the work. The fighter, like, let me see what you got to work with. I'm seeing some promise in you, but let me see what you're working with. I ain't gonna put no money on it. I ain't gonna put no trust in that. Low confidence. You probably should win, but I don't know. I don't know you, or I don't know what this matchup, how that's gonna play out. And that's what I did. So I don't feel mad about that at all. I ain't, like I said, low confidence. It is what it is. That's literally what low confidence means. It literally is what it is. So yeah, and yeah, the second fight, Charles Johnson versus Ode Osborne, and this is the highest confidence fight that I did lose on the card. It wasn't a high confidence. Let me say again, it was not a high confident pick. It was not a high confident pick. It was average confident pick. I picked Charles Johnson to be Ode Osborne. And yeah, this is literally the only pick on the card I could feel a little bit mad about is the Charles Johnson pick. I thought Charles Johnson was the more polished striker. I mean, I feel like he is more polished striker, but I feel like Osborne is more diverse with his striking game. He mixed it up a little bit better than him. And all in all, it was a very close fight that could have went either way, but I think the right man won. Like, picking Charles Johnson, even picking him, I still feel like Osborne won the fight, to be honest. I ain't gonna say it was a robbery or was such a clear winner, but if I had to pick a winner, I would say Ode Osborne won. He mixed up with his kicks, and also he looked decent, through 3 rounds. He didn't fade off. Like, he typically fades off. So he coming off a brutal knockout loss and it's made improvements from it. He didn't dip off. I feel like he got better from that loss. As odd as it seems, he got knocked out and he got better. So usually, typically like that, people will get hit with some bad momentum, they get knocked out, and it like. So as a matter of fact, I feel like Johnson was a cleaner striker, cleaner defensively, cleaner offensively. Maybe not as many tools, but was sharper with less, like better with less, in a sense. Like you can have all these tools, but you got no defense. You can't control. You're not really controlling your energy well. I feel like Johnson had better cardio control, better pacing, better defense. But again, like Osborne came in there, he had cardio for 3 rounds. He fought a good pace through 3 rounds. Largely outworked, not largely, but like a slim margin outworked Johnson overall. I think Johnson landed more, but Osborne, like I said, mixed in more with the wrestling, set it up better. But still, a very, very competitive fight. But I didn't expect Osborne to be that game. I like coming off that knockout loss and Charles Johnson riding that momentum. My dog, especially coming off a knockout win. So a guy coming off a knockout loss versus a guy coming off of like 2 or 3 fight winning streak, and his last fight been a knockout. I like him, and then looking like overall he's a more cleaner, polished fighter. I knew Osborne was more well-rounded in a sense, but both guys fought very well-rounded fights. To be honest, I just feel like Osborne showed that he, improved his pacing, conditioning, and was able to fight hard for 3 rounds. So he didn't dip off. And if he would have dipped off, Charles Johnson definitely would have taken over and won this fight as I would have expected. I was saying like 2nd round TKO, but nonetheless, Osborne came in game. And as far as both of these guys, I just gotta look at them look more into them going to the next fight. Cause I can't really even pinpoint, because either these guys can easily get a tough test in their next fight. I don't think either guys are gonna get an easy opponent in their next matchup. So it's not like, I can look at this next fight, Osborne. Maybe Osborne should be a bet in his next fight, or maybe Osborne should be a guy should be more confident in the next fight. I can't say that, because they could give him a guy harder. They could give each guy a guy that's harder than both of them in their next fight, or they could give him a cakewalk, or they could fill in short notice. So I'm not too sure how to gauge them just yet. But I can look back over this fight a little more, look back over that older fight some more, and then all the matter who they get matched up with next. But definitely look at either guy and going to the next fight, and like probably right now I'm going to the next fight. I would say I'm predicting both guys to win their next fight, going to the next fight. But again, they obviously jumped them up and give them a much bigger test, or stiffer test. But solid performance both guys. But hey, the better guy won, and that better guy was Ode Osborne, and that was my highest confident loss, which was average confidence for Johnson. My next fight was a low confident pick, and that was Andre Muniz versus Brendan Allen. I went leaning to Muniz. And I just leaned to the special factor people were saying about him. Like, oh, he's so special, he's so this, he's so that. He's the dark horse in the division. I didn't really see it. That's why I say low confidence. Like, I don't see the hype behind the dude. He's one-dimensional, and he's only shown one-dimensional. I said one-dimensional. He's one-dimensional. He's only shown one dimension, largely BJJ. Haven't really seen him strike too much, especially at a notable level. Mostly just been take you down, heavy top pressure, and like tap and poke out. And Brendan Allen's a well-rounded guy. And I think I know that, or did I know it? I don't know if I noted it or not. Is that Brendan Allen only lost with TKO losses, and they were to training partners in Chris Curtis and Sean Strickland. And also those guys are currently at a higher level than Muniz is. Muniz might got that good win over Jacare, but that was a Jacare that's now retired after that fight, basically, and already in the process of retiring in that fight. But also that, Brendan Allen losses were at a higher level than what Muniz has yet faced. And again, striking. And Brendan Allen has a pretty high level BJJ as well. And we clearly see he tapped out Muniz in this fight. I think largely due to just being more rounded. And those opened up opportunities which allowed the submission to come in. They also allowed him to wear down Muniz, and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, nonetheless, the more well-rounded, the better guy won. And it showed me why I was low confident in Muniz. But I guess the thing with me is, if I was so low confidence guy, maybe why didn't I shift that to low confidence for the other guy? And I have done that on other videos, in other predictions and other such and such. But I just really couldn't get behind Brendan Allen. I feel like he does suffer inconsistency at times. He could look like a world beater or one of the brightest prospects. Then another moment, is he or is he not? But then again, he's only lost 2 times. It might feel like he lost more, but he only lost 2 times in the UFC. And he lost a couple times outside of UFC, like twice. Like he lost to Anders, I think Anthony Hernandez, and he lost to Eric Anders outside of UFC. And again, that's more strikers. I think he had 1 submission loss, but for the most part, yeah. And it's not like Muniz is just his perfect record guy. He got 4 losses as well. I think he's been TKO'd twice. But nonetheless, Brendan Allen was the more well-rounded fighter. The more well-rounded fighter, the more test fighter, the more experienced fighter at this level. And it paid and improved, and and it proved to be to his benefit, and he won the fight. So good win for Brendan Allen, and going forward probably against, well, I feel like he lost to Malcone in my opinion, but he got the nod, and it is what it is, so you got to win there. But definitely going forward, and the track record says he don't lose to grapplers as far as in the UFC, you know, this current state of his career. So going in there with grapplers, especially one-dimensional grapplers, I'm probably going to definitely favor Brendan Allen. And what they say, like they act like Muniz is the best grappler in the middleweight division right now, so I don't think there's going to be any better grapplers. Well, yeah. And the guys I can see him particularly facing up with, I definitely would favor Brendan Allen in those matchups. Is it right now, like for sure, probably favor him. So going in with grapplers, but then my issue with him is like going in with a striker who got a solid takedown defense. I would probably have to fade Brendan Allen in that matchup. But going forward against grapplers, I think he beats every grappler, you know, near him right now. You might say, oh, Bo Nickel in a couple years, or you might say this and that. But and even Bo Nickel, he might beat Bo Nickel, to be honest. I mean, right now, if he fought Bo Nickel, I would probably predict him to beat Bo Nickel. I'm just talking about like Bo Nickel when he gets some actual experience underneath him, and actually if he fights some decent guys, and like I said, probably a year, 2 years or something, get that experience underneath him, he could be a different beast. But right now, I would say Brendan Allen for sure. Even a year or two from now, probably Brendan Allen gonna get better as well. So can't say, oh, Bo Nickel gonna be this and that. Like, so Brendan Allen definitely got a bright future ahead of him. Just gotta continue to doing what he's doing and getting better, going out there, win, lose, the draw, keep getting better, and he's gonna get where he need to be. He's a very talented fighter. Like I say, he has inconsistency, but the talent has always been there, and I always noted that. He got talent, but again, had his slip-ups, and it's like he wasn't trying to get those wins, get those looks back. So, but yeah, good performance from Brendan Allen. Muniz on that side, he probably gonna get back on. He gonna get back on some wins. There's a lot of guys he could beat in this division, but that can't defend his takedown. That's gonna get grappled up by him. That can't address his grapple. So he's gonna do well in this division. Will he be a future champion? I don't see that. Before the fight, I didn't see that. After the fight, I definitely don't see that. But he could definitely be a guy that could probably climb up the rankings a little bit and get a title shot potentially, maybe, or be an alternate for a title shot one day. But I don't see him with his skill set, unless he take this fight is something to involve, it's a lesson to work on the striking and implement striking more, work on his wrestling some more, work on his control some more. I don't see him really getting up there, but time will only tell. But as of right now, I can't see this guy as a future champion. At best, probably an alternate. I can't even see him as a true, even #1 contender. I can see him as an alternate, like the champion beat everybody else. So here he is. Or somebody else get injured, he steps in. But yeah, now I'm getting off top. But anyway, went 7-3. I'm happy with that card, to be honest. I'm very happy with the card, to be honest. 7-3, 7-10, love it. Some of my dogs fell off this. Well, all of my dogs fell off this card, and Levitt turned into a favorite. So, hey, for the dog lovers, guys like, oh, dog, where's the dog? Where's the dog? They fell off the card, and Levitt turned into a favorite. So, I think when it started, Levitt was like a plus 130 dog or something. Then by the time the fight happened, he was like he was a minus 110. So it is what it is. Dog turned into a favorite. It is what it is. Who else was on the card that I like? It was a couple of dogs that I like on the card. Oh yeah, Jose Johnson fell off the card. What's her name? Alan Perez fell off the card. Those were like my 3 dogs, whatever. Like I said, Levitt turned to a favorite. The 2 guys, the woman and the dude, fell off the card, and Levitt turned to a favorite. So it is what it is. Solid card, 7-3, 7-10, 70%. However you feel about it, what it is. 7-10, hard to beat, and 70% average is amazing, phenomenal. I think even the best people would fall well below 70% by the end of the year. So to be right at 70% or more through 2 months is beyond insanity. So good on me. Can't take that away from me. Yeah, it is what it was. So 7-3, 70%, that's the card. Going to the next one. Let's continue this momentum. Let's continue to do good and do bigger and better things. So that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.